April 10th, the year 2022. My name is John Molden, owner at Blood, Sweat, and Tears Concrete. The birds are really loud today. Hopefully everybody enjoys that.
They're babies.
I'm here with my co-hosts Magnus and Carlie Molden. Say hi, guys.
Hi.
And this is...
No crying in concrete.
Excellent job. So Carlie, what is the question we will be answering this week?
Why would I need rebar in my concrete patio?
Absolutely. Why on earth would anybody ever possibly need rebar in their patio? Anyways, Magnus, would you say we use a lot of rebar?
Yes.
Think so? And where do we normally get our rebar?
From Grandpa from the plant.
The white cap trucks, remember?
Oh yeah, the big white truck. Wait.
Yeah, the guy comes in. We always have to make sure the gate's open so he can get in. We have to make sure that the dog is put up so she doesn't eat him. You remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay, it happens pretty often, so yeah, we use a lot of rebar and even more Gator bar now. The Gator bar is actually a composite rebar, and it's made up in Michigan. That's where they ship it down here from. A 3/8 inch diameter Gator bar has a higher tensile strength than a 1/2 inch steel rebar. Out of the last 80 or so jobs that we completed, I just checked the other day, 45 had a grid of rebar in them, 20 inches on center, a rebar or Gator bar. And the other 35 had the bar just around the outside perimeter of the slabs only. So, what do you think of that Gator bar when you see it, Carlie?
I kind of think of it as like kind of similar to rebar.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, you can see it right from here. You can see how it's green in color, and it's it's kind of weird looking, but it's good stuff.
It definitely looks different than rebar.
It's got the price is really similar. The strength is really similar. The big advantage I think that the Gator bar has is that it's waterproof. It doesn't rust. So
it's good for by the pools.
By pools where there's irrigation running a lot and all that stuff. I think it's a great product. And it sounds kind of cool, doesn't it?
Yeah, Gator bar.
Gator bar. What do you think of that, bud?
Yeah.
Pretty nice, huh?
Someone who may not know much about it or whatever, you say, so we're going to use a Gator bar in your spa pad or whatever. They're going to be like, that's a cool name.
Yeah.
What is it?
Exactly. People are wondering right away when they see it, what is it? And that's why whenever we send out an estimate now, we put a link to a blog article in it that explains the Gator bar. So, pretty fun. Is there any other things that you were wondering about the Gator bar?
So does it have the little bumps on it like the rebar?
It doesn't have the bumps on it. It's rough. But where the rebar actually, all the ribs on it make it for a total mechanical bond. So the concrete sticks to the rebar because of the shape of the rebar. The Gator bar and some other of the composite ones, they claim to have not only a mechanical bond because they are kind of rough, but a chemical bond. So it's almost like the concrete soaks into them and it becomes part of the structure. But kind of neat,
Yeah.
Uncle Dude's been using it up in Minnesota for 5-6 years now, and it seems to work really, quite well. He's gone through many winters, and usually the frost is pushing, and it's really testing it out, and it's worked out perfectly. So if it holds up in Minnesota, it should have no problem holding up down here.
Right. Because up in Minnesota, it gets hot, but the snow and the colder weather is what?
Yeah.
Now down here, it's probably going to be the heat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
This is a pretty good environment for concrete in comparison to Minnesota. That freeze-thaw cycle is really tough on it. So, Carlie, what do you think people say when I mention putting rebar in their patio?
It's just a patio. I'll never drive a car on it. Do you think I'm made of money? Are you crazy?
Yeah, exactly. They say things like that. You know, and I don't, you know, I don't blame them. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
when you first just kind of think about it, if you don't play a lot into it or look into it, you know, you're trying to get your job done for the least amount of money as possible, and why would you want to add extra cost by putting rebar in? You know, I mean, I can see where they're at. But, you know, so I mean, those are all good questions that people have, and, you know, I may be a little bit crazy. I don't know, what do you guys think?
Sometimes.
A little bit? Not too bad? No? He's such a sweet boy. He's a sweet boy. Yeah. How about this one over here? Anyways, no, I am a little crazy actually, so sorry buddy. But I do know a thing or two about concrete, and you know, by the time we get done today, I am hoping that you know, we've educated people and that people know a little bit more about concrete and are kind of up on why we would go ahead and put the rebar in their patio. So Magnus,
Yes.
have you been along with me or Grandpa to the dump to dump concrete? Yeah. In tanks there? Yeah. Kind of fun, huh?
Yeah.
So, who would you say dumps more concrete, me or Grandpa?
Grandpa.
What do you think?
Probably Grandpa.
Yeah, it's really not even close. Grandpa dumps way more concrete than I do. He's good. He's around at least a couple days a week for the removal, and we've been doing quite a bit more than we used to. Very rare anymore when I dump any concrete. So we actually do remove a lot of concrete nowadays, and there are a lot of concrete patios in Tucson that don't have any rebar in them whatsoever. The vast majority of them, I'd say. But like other contractors, I see a whole lot of patios that are busted up every year. You know, most people aren't going out looking for broken patios. But how's your chicken doing?
Good.
Good. But we actually have to go out and find them and see them because that's what we do. And you know, in 1 year, I probably see more broken up patios than the average person sees in their lifetime, you know, because they just wouldn't even notice it. But also, as contractors, have to put a warranty on these patios. So that gives us a perspective that very few will ever have. You know, as far as it goes with rebar or Gator bar, we can say rebar for the discussion. But I mean, the least we do is put a perimeter on the outside of a patio. That's for a 2-year warranty. And then, you know, like I said, 45 out of the last 80, we did a grid in there, 20 inches on center. You know, so actually, it's kind of outpacing. More people are opting for the rebar than not nowadays. Carlie, have you noticed the cracks in Grandma's patio?
Yes, I have.
They have looked like that for almost 10 years now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Okay, you're only 11, so you probably don't remember the first couple years.
No, not really, but going off of what you guys have told me, yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about this a few times before. Do you know why it still looks like that after 10 years?
Because of the rebar?
Because of the rebar, exactly. If we hadn't put that rebar in there, the gaps would have opened up quite a bit by now in that many years, just from walking apart. But, you know, honestly, I don't believe that the rebar stops concrete from cracking very much. It maybe does a little bit, but not much, I don't think. You know.
So what is it that the rebar actually does, Dad?
Well, concrete on its own is hard almost to the point of being brittle. You know, we score all the lines in it, and that gives it a place to crack because it pretty much always cracks. I mean, it always cracks. Concrete just does, you know.
Yeah.
And that's why we have to give it those places to crack. But what the rebar is there for is to keep it from moving after it cracks. You know. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes.
So Magnus, how long after we poured Grandma's patio was it before the cracks showed up?
Like 1 or 2 days later.
Yeah. You know, it's hard to remember. It's been a long time now, but I'm fairly confident that they were there right away the next morning. And they may have even been there that afternoon. I don't even know for sure, but the next morning we were talking about it, and you know, talking about how we'd replace a couple sections if they opened up, but they never did. So within a few days of the pour, most cracking that's going to happen will already have happened in pretty much any concrete project that there is. If you get it after that, it's probably a, you know, grade issue or something. But if it's just due to the shrinkage, it'll happen within the first 3 days. And you know, basically that shrinkage is the excess water that isn't used in the hydration process leaving the concrete. So as it goes out of it, a slab that's 100 feet long will shrink approximately 1/2, just a little bit over 1/2 of an inch in overall length because of the water leaving it. So that's where something's got to give. As time goes on and temperatures fluctuate, the cracks in slabs will open up when it gets cool and close as it expands. You know, as it gets warmer and expands. So there goes the chicken. Oh, she's doing fine. Oh, there you go. All right. So we got a chicken model, walking the runway. Hey there, Chicky. How you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, you coming out this way? Oh, there she goes. So, cracks basically open when it's cool. The dirt falls in, and the crack closes when it gets warm again. But if the dirt is in the way, it can't close completely. It starts to walk apart. So, Carlie.
Yes.
Did you know that concrete could walk?
I've heard you say it before, but it makes more sense now that you explained it.
Yeah. Did you know it could walk, bud? Yeah.
But it makes more sense if you explained it.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, if you can see some old concrete around that's got big gaps that are way wide, you know, but
Yeah.
now that I said it, you'll probably start looking for it, you know?
Yeah, when I heard that someone say that concrete can walk or whatever, I thought that they were crazy or something.
Yeah. Well, we always think of things happening at, you know, kind of regular human speeds, you know, and, you know, forces of nature, they take a lot more time, but over time, things happen. Alright, so the rebar has a definite purpose. Even though your patio may only have a 5-year warranty, it's a 30-year product. And when rebar is paired with 4,000 PSI concrete, it has a really good chance of still being there and looking good in 50 years or more.
Wow.
What do you think of that, guys? 50 years.
Oh my
That
gosh.
seems like a long time. I'm just about
I don't
been
know
around
if
50 years.
anything
But
would last that long.
yeah, I know. Not even your dad probably, huh?
Yeah.
No.
Hopefully I'm around a lot longer than 50. So Magnus, can you think of anything else you want to add?
So the concrete walks apart, and then rebar stops it.
Rebar stops it, exactly. So with the rebar in the slab, it keeps those gaps so tight, you know. There's just not a lot of movement that can happen, you know. So is all tied to the rebar. How about you, Carlie? You got anything this week?
So, excuse me. Do you just like, so when you're like, when the guys are prepping the ground and stuff, do they just like, I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but they just like lay the rebar like this, right?
Yeah, and then they tie it. And then they use a little rebar chair underneath it at the intersections.
Oh yeah.
So that it holds it up at the right height.
Oh yeah, I've seen those too.
Yep. And the Gator bar ties just like the rebar does. It's no different, you know.
Well, I don't have anything else to say. Audience, do you guys have anything to say?
Yeah, you got anything, audience? Alrighty. Well, you guys ready to sign it off then?
Yep.
Alright, well we can do that then, I suppose, huh? Alright, thank you for taking the time to watch again this week. We will be back next Sunday from the Backyard Kitchen answering questions you didn't know you needed to ask about concrete. Remember, there's no crying in concrete other than
the tears of joy brought about by a job well done.
Very good. Say goodbye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Take care.